Sounds great.
All right, so I just want to say good morning again and welcome to our free Friday coaching call. We are fortunate enough this week to learn about Landis. I learned about Landis probably about a year and a half ago, maybe a year ago. Some of the agents in my network have actually closed deals, Anna. So you'll get some people on the call. I see two right now that have closed deals with Landis. So that's exciting that they know about the program and that they show up again to learn to see if there's anything new. That's exciting and that's encouraging to the others that are on the call, because it lets other people know that, okay, this is real, number one. Number two, I want to do more. I want to learn more and I want to grow my business more with Landis. So thank you for giving us some of your time this morning to come and spread the word and give us all the information, even answer questions that we may have. I think we have a question or two because we discussed it. And I see agents not just from Maryland, so you'll have to also include what states or cities are included in the program, so that other people will know. We should get some agents from anywhere and everywhere on this call today, because this is an open call to all real estate agents, no matter which brokerage you are affiliated with. And at the end of the call also, because I'm recording, I'll be able to give you a list of people who were on the call as well, so that you can follow up with, and we'll make sure to give your contact information. Again, I gave it to them, but again, so that they can get in contact with you to get their business partnership with Landis started as well. So you take over. It's your call. I'll be here. I'll turn my camera off. I'll be here, but you just call on me when you need me. I'll monitor the chat for you as well. You have co-host ability if you need to share your screen or anything of that nature, and I'll watch the chat. If anybody has questions, if you use the reactions button to raise your hand, then I'll see it and I'll let Anna know. But introduce yourself, tell us all about you, tell us all about Landis, and take over. Again, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for that intro. If anyone has questions, I hope we get them all answered today. I definitely don't want there to be any confusion or anything like that. But again, my name is Anna Hackett. I cover the entire state of Maryland for Landis. I've been with Landis since about June this year. So really excited to be talking with you guys about it. I think you'll find that this is really a great time for rent to own. And that's really what Landis is we're a modern spin on rent to own. So the way it works is we let a client pick whatever home they'd like, then we buy it with an all cash offer. That's when you receive your full MLS commission. And then from there, we rent the home out to the client, normally for 1 or 2 years, and we provide financial coaching to them until they do become ready to buy the home back from us. And over 80% of our clients do end up successfully repurchasing the home at the end of the process. So really by the end of today, I want you to walk away with a couple of things. So I want you to think about ways that you can, of course, grow your business with Landis. Also think about some of the challenges that we're seeing in the market today and how you can start really viewing those as opportunities. And then also 3, I want you to be ready to invite your first client. Okay. And then again, if you do have any questions, just pop them in the chat. I'll try to pause and, touch on those occasionally here too. So as you guys know, most agents have noticed it too, the market is shifting, of course. And for home buyers, that's really scary because, a home purchase is something they're only going to do, once or twice in their life. So they're really looking for advice wherever they can get it. And right now, most of them are looking at, of course, mainstream media, and the picture that's being painted right now is a pretty bleak one, between inflation, interest rates being super high, the possibility of home prices starting to fall. For a lot of buyers, they're getting scared away from even wanting to purchase a home, and they're really just postponing, their dreams of home ownership. They're saying, I'll just wait another year or two and see what happens. And really what that is causing, it's a problem here because it's really feeding into our rent cycle that we have in our country right now. And by rent cycle, I mean, folks are getting stuck in that cycle of paying rent, high rent every single month, and they're having a tough time saving up the money that they need to save up a down payment. And of course, that's a problem because home ownership is the best way to build generational wealth. So the longer they're stuck renting, the more they're missing out on that opportunity, to build some wealth for themselves and for their families, to live in a more sustainable community. There's a lot of opportunities they're missing out on. And that's also because homeowners on average are 40 times wealthier than renters, of course. All right. And this problem is really being amplified. If you take a look at this chart here, it shows you the percentage of the average American's income that's going towards their housing payments every single month. Right now, we're at all-time record highs over here of about 44% of the average American's income is just covering their house. So that's, again, just making it even harder for people to save up the money that they need for a down payment. Okay. So really just overall, the buyer sentiment is changing, right? Folks are waiting for the market to stabilize. They're saying, I don't mind paying rent for another year or two. Let's see what happens in the market. They're really getting scared, out of jumping into the housing market. And I'm sure for you all, pretty much every, sales meeting I sit in on, there's a lot of folks that are scratching their head and trying to figure out how they can find leads now, how they can get connected with potential home buyers, especially for a lot of agents that might have just started in 2020 when everything was gravy. Now they're having to do some lead gen for themselves for the first time, and they're not really sure where to start. And that's really what we do here at Landis. So of course, our mission is to guide our clients on their unique path to home ownership. But we also want to create some certainty in the market for our clients and also for agents as well. And everything we do at Landis is really geared towards home ownership as the most important goal for all of our clients. All right. So all of you guys right now probably have a pipeline of, hundreds or even thousands of clients perhaps that are just a phone call away from re-engaging with. So think of any clients in the last year or two that, might have said they wanted to put things on pause just because they wanted to see what was going to happen with the market. Some of the most common objections that I've been seeing, at least, or that I've heard about from these clients are, things here listed on the right. So let's just kind of walk through these step by step and see how Landis could kind of help you re-engage in that conversation. So in terms of rising interest rates, this is really the optimal time for rent to own, right? Because when a client is renting from us, like right now for 1 or 2 years, it doesn't matter how high the interest rates are. We're really betting on the fact that within 1 or 2 years, when they're ready to repurchase the home, the rate should be right back down, to a much more reasonable level. So if you have clients that are kind of iffy about the rates, this is a perfect time to strike up a conversation with them. For anyone who may not have, the full down payment that's needed to purchase a home, Landis is another great option there. To get into our program, it only takes a minimum of 2% of the home's value. And I'll get into that a little bit more later and explain how it works. But it only takes 2% of the home's value to get into a home with Landis. Okay. Anyone that's concerned about housing prices, right? If they're not sure what's going to happen, Landis provides certainty there because when a client gets into our program, there's already a predetermined buyback price that's set. So they know exactly how much they're going to end up paying for the home at the end of the process. And then lastly, for anybody that, maybe they didn't have a specific reason why they didn't want to move forward, might be kind of tough to get them back on board. But I think with Landis in your pocket as a new tool, it's going to make that conversation a lot easier. And maybe all they're looking for is some more stability and some certainty. And that's certainly something that we provide with the Landis program too. All right. And then that's in addition to, all the other clients that we normally help. So we work with a lot of first-time home buyers, people that need a little bit more guidance as they're getting started. We work with a lot of self-employed individuals. So if you guys have anyone that's been struggling to qualify due to self-employment income, definitely, consider the Landis program for them. We're just a lot more lenient and can provide coaching to those self-employed folks during the rental process to make sure they do qualify ultimately. Anyone with credit challenges recently, bankruptcies, lower credit score, definitely good candidates. Anyone that is newly single, maybe went through a recent divorce, great candidates for the Landis program. Also kind of similar to first-time home buyers, anyone that may not have a full 2 years of experience in a job. So think about people that are newer in their careers, don't really have that history built up. Really great opportunity for them to, get into a house much sooner than they normally would have. And then anybody that, might be looking to move, if they have, a certain school district they want their kids to be in, for instance, and they already have a mortgage, we can get them into a program with a new house with Landis, even despite already having a house. Okay. Now, in terms of what we look for from our clients, so we can go down to a 550 credit score. In terms of income, most of our clients, their household income falls between about $55,000 up to $110,000. Again, that can be combined by between up to 2 people. And I say that's the typical income that would get someone approved for about a $200,000 to a $300,000 home. We can go a little bit lower. We can go down to $44,000 in income in Maryland. But that's 55 to 110,000 is really that sweet spot where you're going to get a pretty decent sized budget. Okay. We do ask for savings from our clients of 2 to 3% of their approval amount. So what that is used for is to start up their down payment savings fund with us. So that's really just money that we hold for them. And then every single month as they're paying rent, a small portion of the rent payment is going to go towards building up that down payment savings fund every single month. So by the end of the process, we do have enough money saved for them to cover the down payment and to cover any closing costs associated with their mortgage. Okay. And then lastly, we do have our full underwriting process we have to follow, of course. So we try to look at debt to income ratio and keep that below 45% is typical. Okay. Now this here is a hypothetical approval chart too. I'll show you our full underwriting guidelines in just a moment. I'm going to give you guys a tour through our portal actually. So I'll, touch on all this stuff again as well, but this is just so important in terms of setting proper client expectations up front. I know, we're in 12 states right now. Maryland is probably one of the more expensive ones. So, we're probably going to be needing to look at homes that are at least like, 250 to, 300,000 at least. So if you have a client that say, you're looking to advertise in like PG County, for instance, I know it's more expensive there. And you need at least 350,000, just kind of set expectations properly in terms of how much income they would need. Okay. Now, in terms of the types of homes that we can work with, so we can go up to $500,000 on the home's value. All of our homes do need to be move-in ready. So we're not able to work with any fixer-uppers or any properties that are listed as is, really just because we want the client to have, a good investment at the end of this. And we don't want them worried about, completing repairs while they're living in the home. So that's why we have that requirement, of course. And then ideally, we want the homes to be built after 1978. We can go up to 100 years old on the home's age. Just if it was built before 78, it should be fully renovated and be on all public utilities. Okay. I think I just saw a question pop up in the chat there.
No, I was just saying that's really good info, that income chart. That will help agents off the bat understand if we need to be referring or if we don't need to be referring. And that could also be a question that agents add into their consultation with the possible tenants when they're having these conversations. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's nothing more frustrating than, a client getting an approved budget, but it's not, enough to find a home realistically. So definitely it's so important to set those expectations up front. Yep.
Somebody just asked, can we see that chart one more time? If you scroll back to that, I'll screenshot it and I'll share it with this group. Just give me 2 seconds to get my screenshot together and I'm done. Thank you.
All right. No worries. And again, you have access to this too when you sign up in our system. This is on our underwriting guidelines. So I'll show you that in just a second here too. Okay. Now back to where we can operate. So we work in mostly urban and suburban areas. So fortunately for Maryland, this is our coverage map. Most of the state of Maryland is covered. I've seen some of the other states that we work in and, it's definitely not as much coverage as in Maryland. So that's a good thing. But we do, of course, operate in other states as well. So anything in blue here is where we definitely can operate. And anything in orange, we can work with on a case-by-case basis. So if a client wants a house that's in an orange zone, you would just want to send us the address ahead of time to make sure it is something that we can work with. Okay. And then also we just do single family homes and fee simple townhomes. So no condos and no manufactured homes. Okay. Now just some feedback from really our top agents and what they enjoy the most about working with us. First one is the fact that they do actually win bids with us. So we went over about 50% of our bids most recently from what I've heard. And that's really a testament to the fact that we have all cash offers. And we do have a quick closing process as well, which is typically is 21 days for our closings. Okay. Like we kind of touched on before as well, it gives you the ability to tap into a whole new demographic and access a new pipeline of clients that normally you'd have a much tougher conversation with. So, I mean, we're a great tool if you do, run into unqualified clients, but most of our top agents, they really implement us as part of their strategy. They're actively promoting the program on social media, trying to find those clients who don't even realize that they're prepared for home ownership through programs like Landis. So, definitely take advantage of that ability to tap into a new demographic there. Also, we take our customer service very, very seriously. We have a whole team of staff that their only job is to guide our clients through the process step by step. So we have an 800 number that's available for clients to call 7 days a week. If they have questions about their application or what they need to do next, we really guide them through that entire process. And we take the same approach too with our agents that we work with. So we have a whole new Landis University. It's our training and education system. So we have an agent certification course that I would recommend that all of you guys do just to start. It just explains the basics of the program so that before you even work with a client, you have a thorough understanding of how this works. And then even beyond that, we have videos for literally every single step of the process to explain what you can expect. All right. Of course, for some folks, what's, most important, getting faster commission. So keep in mind that Landis clients are clients that you typically would not be able to work with. So normally you would be needing to nurture these relationships for 6 or 12 or 18 months and try to coach your clients up on your own until they're ready to buy a house. Again, with Landis, as soon as we buy the house for the client, that's when you get your full commission. And we do all the hard work on the back end of coaching the client up and making sure that they buy the home. Okay. And then again, that coaching it's really just, the biggest factor that sets us apart from any other program like this is once the client enters the rental process with us, they're assigned a client success coach, and that person sets up monthly or bi-monthly calls with them to talk about their credit, to talk about their income, and make sure that they are on pace, to ultimately buy the home within a 2-year maximum. Okay. And that's really what leads to over 80% of our clients successfully graduating from our program and walking away as homeowners. All right. And then not to mention, we have some really great partners too. So believe it or not, Jay-Z and Will Smith have invested in our company. They're our partners. NAR is also a partner of ours. And then most recently, a few weeks ago, we announced that we rolled out our Series B round of funding, and Google Ventures is now one of our investors as well. So we're really growing, we're backed by some great folks in our corner too. All right. And, speaking about money here, there is, the real opportunity to grow your business and to, earn more commission by really leveraging the Landis program. So we have some top partners that have done 20 plus transactions in a year with us. That comes out to about $180,000 in extra commission. Again, those are 20 clients that normally would not have been able to close. Okay. But you don't have to do 20 closings a year to be considered a top client with us or a top partner with us. Anyone that does 6+ transactions a year, we consider to be a top agent of ours. And that comes out to about $54,000 in extra income, right? That doesn't hurt. All right. So real opportunity there. All right. So really, in terms of just getting started with us, what I would recommend is your first steps. Of course, sign up. I'll show you guys the link in just a second to register with us, and it is free to work with us. But I would say start reaching out to that pipeline of clients that you already have, people that decided to pause their home ownership journey, a year or two ago. Reach out to them, reconnect, and let them know that there's this new program that can help them and provide more certainty for them right now. And I would recommend starting with folks that you do have a little bit of background on, so you do know that they meet our minimum criteria, at least, the credit score, income, and that sort of thing. Next, our most successful agents are very proactive with social media posts. I hear Facebook Marketplace is a great place to advertise. Just posting things online. Everybody has a unique referral link when you sign up with us, so that anyone that goes through your link will be your client and linked with you in our system. So definitely recommend doing that. And then lastly, we do also have lots of agents who get smart and they advertise any of their listings as rent to own opportunities. So we have a pricing calculator tool that you can use to calculate roughly how much the rent would be. That way you're just getting more eyeballs on your listing, and then ultimately, getting your renters into a better situation by, guiding them into home ownership. Okay. So without further ado, if you guys want to go ahead and scan this QR code here on the left, that's how you can sign up as a Landis agent if you have not already, or you can just go to ally.landis.com. I can pop that in the chat for you as well. Whoops. I'll pop that in the chat for you as well here. And then you guys can get signed up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you guys on a quick tour here in our system. Here, let me put in the website here. And does anybody have any questions at this point also?
I do. I wanted to say something or ask you real quick. So I'm logging into my portal that I used to have. There's a new way we log in? Because I think I haven't logged in okay, I just wanted to make sure. So I just hit, and anybody else that was previously logged in, haven't logged in a while, they're asking for the phone number now. And then I never set a PIN, so I just hit reset PIN. So I didn't want anybody to get confused. So just go ahead and do all of that. And it worked for me because I'm doing it while you were talking. So don't get confused and think you're on the wrong site. They just have a new login process. We last time we logged in with just our email. Now they're asking for our phone number. They sent a text and then asked for our PIN number. So I just wanted to, just in case anybody's like me and logging in while you're talking.
Yeah. Thank you for reminding me about that. We did update the login system, but moving forward, after you reset it the first time, it just asks for email and password. So for me, that's a lot easier than it was before. And then you can also save it in there too.
Katrina's
I have a question.
It's some Charlotte people. I'll get the iPhone in 1 second. I wanted to answer the chat. So there's some Charlotte people on the phone. It's the same ally.landis.com. It's the same login no matter where you are. You just may not have Anna as your account executive. I actually knew the account executive, but I'll check with you to make sure it's the same person before we give out their information. But there is a good number of Charlotte agents. I see a Florida agent, and I think I don't know if Orlando, I know Daria is in Orlando. I don't know if Orlando is on the list. I think it is because I asked before, or I might have asked where she used to work at, but we'll find out. But just use that same link and then they'll get linked up automatically with an account executive.
Correct. Yep. Depending, because it asks what state you operate in. So you'll be connected with the proper AE. We have Michaela. She's really, really great. She's in North Carolina, Michaela. And then for Florida, we have Jasmine is our Florida rep. They're both really, really great. So
okay. And can I get the iPhone to come back? I apologize. I wanted to make sure there you go.
Yes.
Hey, so I switched companies and I was with Landis before. So now that I have a new email with a new company, do I need to do a whole new account?
So I can update the email. If you message me after this, I can update it for you in the system there. You can set up a new account, but then you would lose the clients you had before. So just send me the new email and I'll update it for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. All right. And then here's my contact info. Before I give you the tour of the portal here, there's my contact info. Feel free to reach out anytime. Again, I cover the whole state of Maryland. Really, my goal is to coach you guys up so that you guys can also, coach your clients up as well. All right. But here, I'm going to go ahead and hop into the system here. I hope you guys have all had a moment to sign in with me so you can kind of follow along. If not, just take a look at my screen. So once you first sign in, it's going to show you your client list just like this. To access them, and you click on those 3 horizontal lines right there. Okay. So we're on client list right now. Your client invites is going to start to accumulate a list of anybody that you've invited for the program. So it's so important that you guys follow up with anybody that you invite and make sure that they complete the application, because until they complete the application, Landis doesn't know to take over the baton and guide them from there. So just make sure your job is to invite them and follow up to make sure they do actually complete the application. Okay. This is how you invite a client. You just click on this invite clients, you type in their name and contact info, and that sends them the application link to get started. So it is a free application for clients. So, there's no risk to them. And there's also no hard credit check. So it won't hurt their credit score whatsoever. So it can only benefit them to apply for the program. Okay. Let's see, let's go down here. This referral link here. Let's see, Dawn has a question. Are you the account executive for this? Yeah, so that's a great question, Dawn. So I work with you up until the point of a client being approved. So once you have a client who is approved with a budget, then you do have a transaction manager who's going to take over. And that's the person that helps you with making the offer, approving properties and making sure it is a property that fits our criteria. And that's correct. For the state of Maryland, Bree is that person. Every state has a different transaction manager. Okay. But back to the referral link here. So this is what I was talking about. Every agent has a unique referral link. Anytime you post online or talk about Landis online, just throw this link in there. You can, turn this into a QR code or shorten the link to make it a little prettier. But that's definitely the link you should be using there. Okay. And yes, I agree. Tiana Bree is awesome. She's on top of everything, even on the weekends. I don't know how she does it. Down here to the agent materials. So I would recommend that everybody spend some time in the portal here, just kind of looking around. So the training and resources here has a lot of great information. This is a form you can use if you ever have a property you're not sure if it qualifies or not for the program. You can submit it using this form here. It ultimately will ask for the property address, and within 24 hours we will let you know yes or no if it is a home that we can work with. All right, so that's that property review. This is our property criteria, just in case you forget. Landis U here, I recommend that everybody does the agent certification course within this. So as you can see, there's courses about literally every step of the process. So about how to use our system, there's testimonials. Here's the certification course everyone should start with. We have a great lead gen course that everybody should do this one too, and the marketing course as well. So just, spend some time looking through those videos. This is the underwriting criteria that I had showed you before. So again, setting expectations with clients up front. This is how you can vet them. They have to meet all of these criteria, of course. You don't want to invite somebody and then find out that they, have below a 500 credit score, right? So just make sure you vet them with all this information. Here's that approval chart again to set expectations. And then this shows documents that the clients will potentially need to submit if they are, pre-qualified for our program. So again, you can even ask for those up front from the clients. Okay. Monica asks, is this I-10 friendly? I'm going to need some help. Can you explain that question for me? I'm not sure what I-10 is.
Me either. So that's a great question. What is that, Monica?
Okay, I know I-10 is when you do not have a social security number.
Oh,
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
If
If you don't have, or like green card or something, because I'm working with a client that has that right now.
Yeah, so we do require each client to have a social security number. So they would need to have an actual SSN. Yeah, great question. I just never seen it typed out as I-10 like that though. That's funny. All right.
Monica is fancy.
Once a client is approved and they do not submit the required down payment and it expires, does the client have to reapply again?
So they can reinstate their application if they just sign back into their system, and the client system is path.landis.com. Once they sign in, they should be able to update their application even if it did time out. So after 30 days of inactivity, it goes to an inactive status, and then that's when they would need to go back in and reinstate their application.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. Cool. So I wanted to show you too, this pricing calculator tool right here. Again, setting expectations with clients, as you guys know, is so important. So these are all the states that we do operate in, listed out right here. I'll do a mock-up right now for Maryland. Say someone's looking in the Baltimore area, $250,000 home. It recommends what their initial deposit should be. All right. And then you can change the term over here, 12 or 24 months. And then when you hit calculate, it shows you here on the right what their estimated payment would be. So this is just fair market rent here, this $1,980. This is the amount that's being contributed every month to their down payment savings fund. And then this shows their total rent payment. So you can see if you play with the numbers, change this from 12 to 24 months, you'll see that down payment savings amount go down. All right. So you can kind of play with the numbers and again, just kind of set expectations up front. Okay. Two more things I want to show you guys. This is our coverage map. So I had showed you before just kind of what this looks like from a screenshot. It's actually interactive here. So you can zoom in, you can type in a specific address or zip code if there's a certain home you're looking at and want to know if it fits. Definitely use this tool, to set expectations with clients again. And then lastly, our marketing materials here. So we have flyers that you can customize. Once this one loads. Right here. So you could post this online. If you open it as a Google Doc, you can even edit it and add like your little screen, your little picture down there and your contact information. You can customize this one. These are customizable as well. We have social media assets. We have videos you can post. So definitely use these marketing materials to your advantage. All right. But I think that's a pretty good tour of the portal here. Does anybody have any other questions or anything? Stop sharing my screen there.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Katrina Cherry from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Awesome.
Does this apply to new construction homes as well?
Yes, it can be used for new construction homes. They just need to be 45 days out from completion at least.
Okay, great.
Yep. Great question.
Good. Yeah, I was gonna say, good question. Thank you.
Yep,
You're welcome. Thank you all.
absolutely.
What
Yeah, I hope
else?
you guys
I know
found
y'all
this
have-
helpful.
I was gonna say, I know they have questions. Come on, bring those questions. Nate, can you
Okay, well, look, I'll jump on out there.
go
Okay,
ahead,
so
Katrina?
you said that closing date is what your closing time is about how many days?
21 days typically.
Okay, and in Charlotte, North Carolina, when we have a 21-day close, we are getting paid within a couple days. So there's nothing that's gonna hold up our commission either when using Landis.
No. I mean, we're
Okay,
an all cash buyer. It works just like it typically would in terms of getting your commission.
okay.
Yep.
I have something if nobody, I don't see anybody else yet. While I'm on the portal, I see social links and some marketing materials. Can you just show us
Yes.
that if you could share your screen so they can see that? Because I think that's important for them to know that there's some social media help and some marketing materials. I just actually, while we were on this call, I had someone email me and tell me that they need to get into a credit program because they are not going to sign their lease and they're going to buy a house. They want to buy a house, but they know they got to work on their credit. And I'm like, oh, hold on, wait a minute. So I am using that explainer video right now, and I just shared it with that person. And also one of the graphics and social media, there's a script in there. I just did all of this while you were on the call. It's you probably don't believe me, but I'm telling them 100% true that that's what happened.
Yeah.
While we were on this call.
Crazy.
I lied to you not. Y'all can't see my screen, but that's the video, and I shared it. It's just so happened that it's a coincidence that we're on this call right now.
Yeah, that's crazy timing. That's perfect. Yeah, hopefully they find that helpful. But yeah, these are all of the social media templates. There's even an email template here. I don't know that I've looked at all these, but you can customize all these to your liking. Let's see if it's going to open for us.
Question.
Yeah, email templates there. Yeah, go ahead with the question.
Okay, I'm not Robert, I'm Paula, but anyway, I may have missed this, but suppose the person does not choose to go through with the 2-year program and they decide, okay, I decide I'm not even going to buy. What happens? What happens?
Yeah, great question. We do have to talk about all parts of it, of course. I'm glad you asked. So if it's a matter of, a life event came up, they lost their job unexpectedly, something happened that threw them off course and they're already renting from us. In those situations, we do our best to work with everybody and we do it on a case-by-case basis to get them back on course. So there's times we can be flexible and extend out the rental period if necessary to really work with them. But if it's one of those where they say, you know what, I want to move to a different state, I don't want to buy this house anymore. There is a 3% exit fee that we assess. That's 3% of their repurchase price. And that will just come from their down payment savings fund. They would keep anything above that 3%. And let's say that they didn't even have, 3% saved up in the fund yet. We would, we wouldn't go above what's already saved up in that savings fund. Okay. Does that answer the question?
Yes, that's good. But if they need, you're saying in a situation where they may need more than 24 months, you would work with them on an individualized base. Where
Correct.
they could, so what would be, could they go to could they do another year? Or have you?
Yeah, so I can't promise that. And certainly don't tell the clients this, right? That's not the
Okay.
goal. The goal is that, we'll have them on course to do it within 1 or 2 years, whatever they sign up for.
Okay.
But yes, there are times, we understand we're human. We really pride ourselves on being a personable and human company. So if something does come up, they need an extra 3 months or so, due to job loss or something, then we would, do our best to work with them in that situation. But I would not promise that to anybody, right off the bat.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Yep.
So there again, we need to make sure we are setting those expectations to chop, let's get the deal done. Once
Yeah.
they go into it.
Yeah, I mean, and we do that too, right? Again,
Yeah.
every single month they're going to have somebody on a Zoom call with them, talking about if their credit score has changed, if they want to open up a new account, we can kind of guide them in terms of what would be best. If they want to start a new job, we can kind of guide them in terms of what type of job would be best for that continuity of their employment. So we are with them all the time, pestering them.
Hi guys, this is Ya. I think I missed the down payment portion. So the down payment is required. Did you say 2%?
Yeah, minimum of 2% of the home's value, but we do anywhere from 2 to 3%. Of course, if they do the 3% instead of the 2, that's going to make their monthly rent payments a little bit lower because we don't have to play as much catch up every month in terms of building up their savings. But so yeah, 2% would be the minimum, up to 3%.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right.
There's something in the chat we should take a look at.
Okay, if the client isn't able to buy it back, do we keep the home or resell? Yeah, so normally we do typically resell the home. If we make the decision, of course, case by case. If there's another client who's looking for a home in that area and we already have a Landis home that a client has exited out of, there's times we can, make that an opportunity for a new client. But most likely we'll just resell the home. And I'm assuming the next question is going to be, is there a listing opportunity? Yeah, there it is. So yeah, we do have some top agents that we partner with, and it's kind of like a round robin with some top agents. And to become a top agent, that's just someone that works with us consistently, sends us a lot of clients consistently, and has already done, like I said, an average of 6 closings with us a year. That way we know that you understand our process, but those are listing opportunities for some of those top agents. And then I know this question is going to come up too about if we have clients who are already qualified and they don't have an agent. Same thing with those top agents. If you do work your way up to become a preferred top agent, we can send those fully qualified leads to you potentially.
Yeah, and you guys sent the lead last year, so I know that's 100% true.
Someone's got to take them. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Another
Yeah.
partnership opportunity, another way to grow your business. Just something else to add into your repertoire. I suggest the university. I strongly suggest the university. Y'all know my number one concern is education for real estate agents. I love certifications. It's another bragging point. Earlier in the week, we had a question about confidence and using confidence in your business to talk to clients. And that's just another confidence builder, another level of, I know what I'm doing and I'm the best agent, another elevator pitch, another marketing opportunity, another marketing pitch, more social media. It's already done for you. They've given you the words, they've given you the graphics, put it in Canva, add your photo, make it fancy, make it pertain to you, but use it because it does not come around very often where somebody is doing most of the work for you. So that's a time saver. I mean, everybody, if you close the deal, type closed in the chat. I know we have 1 or 2 that may have closed the deal, maybe even somebody that's in the works right now. Type closed in there, or Landis, whatever you want to type in there, so that people know that you guys are using the program and that you're working in there. If you have a client list or, some clients, they may not have gotten approved, but type Landis in there. Let people know that you are, interested, you are working, and this is working for people. Yeah, see, you got some people in there.
Wow. Absolutely. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And definitely make sure you follow up too. If you do have a client list, make sure you're following up with your Landis clients too. right? Because I've seen a lot of them just kind of like fizzle out because the clients don't really know what's next. So just make sure you're always following up.
Yeah, look at that right there.
Yeah.
Next thing, I'm gonna give y'all a marketing tip, or what do we call it? A touch call. Call the clients that did not, that weren't working or that did not work out with a mortgage. Maybe they had one or two things right now. Call them and tell them, hey, I just took this class online. I learned a little bit more about Landis. Don't say I learned it for the first time. Just tell them I learned a little bit more about Landis, because it's still the truth. I learned a little bit more about Landis today, and I think it may be an opportunity. Do you mind if I send you a video? Send them that video. The flyer, I sent the video and the flyer, because some people don't have time for the video, but they'll look at that flyer. If you like what you see and you want more information, text me back after you've watched it or after you've taken a look. And that is prospecting. That's prospecting. That's lead generation. If you can't use it, refer me to someone else, or maybe even somebody that's already closed, or that you closed the Landis deal with, or that you have in Landis. Send them the flyer and say, hey, you know anybody else that could use this program? I just learned a little bit more. I just got certified. That's even better. I just got certified. So tell me if you know anybody that's asking for the referral. We learned about asking for the referral. That's one of our prospecting, one of our lead generating techniques. Use this program, use the marketing materials that are already ready for you, and just go through your database and see if they know somebody, or because if you ask them, do they know somebody? Guess what? They'll probably say, well, hold up, wait a minute. I can use this program. What you mean? Do I know somebody? I know me. Let me get a little bit of information. Let me take a look. And that you may have a sale. You still got time to close one of these by the end of the year. Let's see who can close one of these by the end of the year. Let's see. Let's make it a contest, right?
Yeah. Awesome.
Let me see.
So I have a question.
Mhm.
Okay, so I just signed in to create an account, and I know you guys said that would need to take a course. Where do I find that course?
Yeah, so in the top left corner, click on those 3 horizontal lines, and then go down to training and resources.
Okay.
And then it's Landis U is where you can access all the courses. It's going to ask, when you click on Landis U, it's going to ask you to sign in just with your name and email address. And then after you put that in, you'll have access to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
I was trying to show it. I have this blur thing on my screen. The blur is the background, so it does not, it only likes people. It doesn't like
Marion, was that Marion talking? Yeah, yes, it's me. Go, Katrina. Girl. I see you, girl. You jumping on it. I know, yes, I did. Quick. Thank you.
So question, if there's homes that are not yet on the market. Yeah, so I mean, we can work with homes that are not on the market. I guess, what do you mean with that question there, Nerys? Like, can we still work with homes if they're not formally listed?
Hi, so I'm specifically speaking to kind of what Dawn mentioned about our clients wanting to buy the home they're currently renting, but it's not listed yet. So is there something in the pipeline where we can petition the owner to say, hey, we've got all cash buyer lined up, just something along those lines to kind of motivate them to sell to their current tenants?
Oh yeah. So yeah, you can definitely do that. The only thing to be aware of is, again, the home needs to be move-in ready. And before we buy the home, any repairs would need to be completed by the seller. So long as it is move-in ready and the seller is okay with, doing any repairs that Landis might require, then yes, we definitely can work with those situations.
So that was a good question. If somebody calls you and says, hey, my landlord gave me 60 days, 120 days, I got to move out. So I need to buy a house. And so then you can go back and say, hey, let's contact your landlord and see if you like your house. Find out if they even like the house, first of all, because they may not even like the house to want to buy it. But hey, let's call your current landlord and tell them we may be able to offer them a cash deal and see if they want to learn more information. So that was a really good question and a good scenario that might just pop up for somebody.
Good point. Yes.
Okay, I have a question, piggybacking on move-in ready. Now, so that we feel that the house is move-in ready. You still have to have a home inspection?
Correct. We do an inspection and an appraisal on every single home.
Okay, so then what happens when you do an inspection and then the inspector comes back, even though we felt the home was move-in ready and has a list, laundry list of things to fix, we have to go back to the seller to fix everything? Or can we say, like we usually do, can we negotiate on fixing some ourselves?
Yeah, so everything would need to be done by the seller with Landis. Yeah, so there's no
Okay.
negotiating, anything like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we don't fix anything as real estate agents. What you talking about, girl?
No, I'm not talking about us, but I'm saying, like our
Buyers?
buyers.
No, we don't have buyers fix anything either on a house that they don't own. No, we're gonna talk about that offline.
Oh, okay. Because
I mean, we negotiate that it's okay to let it slide in a regular transaction, but we don't encourage anybody to repair anything on their own before they own the house. Let me clarify that. Maybe you're saying let it go. It's okay if the seller says no, they're not going to fix it. But in Landis, it's not okay for the seller to say that they're not going to fix something.
Well, now maybe I've been doing stuff wrong for a long time because we negotiate, like, just say something needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
GFCI plug, something like that. So maybe that's the only thing that needs to be done. So the buyer says, well, I'm not going to ask the seller to fix that. Once I move in, I'll have that done.
Well, that's I just wanted to clarify that you were saying that because with the way it was stated in the first, it sounded like, all right, the seller going to fix these 5 things, and then the buyer going to fix these 5 things, maybe before settlement. So I just wanted to no buyer fixes anything until they actually own the home. They may say it's okay that the seller doesn't have to fix it before settlement, but guess what? And I don't think we talked about that. In Landis, your tenant is not the client. Your tenant has no say in the contract process, basically. Your tenant is not your client. The tenant now becomes, I don't even want to give them a name, they just a tenant. Landis is the buyer. Landis handles the property inspection notice, drafting and negotiating and all that kind of stuff through you, because you're kind of like I want to kind of say you're a mediator, because they kind of have their own like real estate department. They know what they want, they know what they don't want, they know what they're going to accept, they know what they're not going to accept. You as a real estate agent, you play such a small role. Once Landis is buying the house, it almost amazes you and confuses you as well, because a lot of agents, and I had this when I was a broker, the clients don't know that, the tenants don't know that they're not a client anymore. They're really not your client. And this is a mindset thing for real estate agents. Real estate agents have to understand and have to get it in their thick skulls that this tenant is no longer a client. There's no buyer agency, there's no agency relationship. Once you get into this Landis situation, Landis becomes the client, becomes the main point of contact. The tenant is just moving up into that house that Landis is buying for right now. And hopes to become a buyer later. So you gotta really think about that as well. So your tenant won't even be contacted in this home inspection process too. So that's Paula is brand new to this rent to own thing.
Yeah, right.
To make sure I'm clear with you and everybody else on the call, because it's very hard to understand this, especially that agency portion. So just remember, once we get into a deal with Landis, the tenant is not your client. And then you may already have a buyer agency agreement in the states where there's a buyer agency agreement drafted up front that you need to cancel if you get into a Landis deal. Because you got to make sure that the tenant understands that they are not the buyer and they are not your client. Landis is your client, and now Landis has your best interest at hand, just so you know.
Okay, so once you kind of direct them to Landis, you're out of the picture. You kind of sit back.
I don't want to say that. You get in the passenger seat. Let's say we in a car. You were driving at first.
Okay.
Once Landis
takes
Get
over.
an offer accepted, or once you apply and the person approved and y'all find a house, once you find a property, get in the passenger seat and just
Okay.
let Landis tell you what to do.
Okay. All
Okay,
right.
yeah, and you'll learn that in the Landis University as well. So that's why I really suggest, if you've not worked in any rent to own or lease with the right to purchase or any of these programs like this, definitely the university up front will help you a lot, because it's a lot to comprehend, a lot to understand, a lot of mindset shift that has to happen. And I did see somebody with their hand up. I don't know if we answered. Janice, did we answer your question, or did you still have the question?
Yeah, you did. I was just trying to process the trade-off, but it
Okay.
makes sense now.
Yeah. Just don't forget to cancel the buyer agency agreement with the tenant once they are approved with Landis, and because once they are approved at Landis, Landis is your buyer client. So don't forget that part. And I know we're all in different states, but agency is very important, and setting the expectation and letting the and letting the tenant know what's going on, what happens, because they'll have a lot to say. So you'll have to explain to them, slow down just a little bit. You are my, I want to call it a sub-client, but I don't even want y'all to get client in y'all brains. Oh, they are a tenant at that point in time and not represented by you at that moment once they get approved with Landis. Now, how do you get them back? If Landis doesn't work out, they in the transaction, they worked with Landis, but they never go, and now they're buying a house, or you're finding them just a regular rental, go back and do a new agency agreement. It's not that hard. All right, but just make sure you cancel the one once they're with Landis, and then if you need a new one, which hopefully you won't, just get a new one. It's not that hard, it's not that difficult, but you want the paper trail to say, I was working with them, now I'm not, I'm working with Landis. If I'm not working with Landis anymore, now I'm working back with this person. Just make sure it's very clear in your mind and on paper, so that you don't get into any legal trouble, okay? And Anna, I keep calling you Anna, sorry. Anna,
All right.
want to pick up on any of that?
Yeah, I mean, I would say you can involve the client in the appraisal and the inspection. Like, they can physically be there. And I mean, I would encourage them to feel involved, but I mean, you are correct in that Landis, I mean, on the paper, it's going to say Landis Technologies is the buyer. So, I mean, it is us, but you do want to try to involve them as much as possible, because it is their home ownership journey. That'll probably earn you brownie points with them. So
Yeah, but you got to be
that's all
careful these days, Anna. Like,
yeah.
you ain't out in
You
the
would
street,
know.
these people will overpower you and will be like, I want this. No. This is not your journey right now. Like, cause or they'll be like what Paula was saying, they'll be like, oh, I ain't worried about that, I still want the house. No. Landis has the final decision, and Landis will decide what's going on within that process.
True that. Yeah.
Mhm.
I agree.
Yeah, and John just reminded, Landis becomes your buyer client. The tenant chooses the house. That's the most layman's terms. The tenant chooses the house. Landis submits the offer on the house and negotiates, becomes your client that you negotiate with the listing agent with.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Dawn said the tenant did take part in the inspection process, but Landis has the final say. Good to say. Yeah, set those expectations up front. Very well.
That's been a thing. Set the expectations.
Yeah. Janice, were you coming back? Or
Yeah, I was gonna say it's down, for us agents, especially as hands-on agents, that was like, oh, we gotta let them go. But it's no different than any other referral or referral client that we may give another realtor. It's like, I'm gonna help you as much as I can, but essentially it's not what a normal transaction would be. So I'm gonna help you, but I also am kind of happy about that, because you guys are the professionals, you know what I mean? You're gonna make sure it goes like it needs to go all the way through the end. So it's really a positive thing that we aren't representing the buyer for Landis, if that makes sense. Like, we're with Landis and the buyer is here to participate.
Yeah, call them a tenant. You got to just change the language.
Okay, right, tenant, the tenant.
Not be a buyer anymore. Landis is what I'm telling you, it's the hardest transition. I know. I've worked with a lot of these. It's the hardest transition, and it's just a mindset thing. And it's
Right.
a little different. Now, Anna, let me ask you a question, because I personally haven't finished the transaction. I have some people in application, but do you guys write the offer, or do we write the offer as agents?
So you physically write the offer, but we will send you the offer terms, that we'd like you to use. If you have any suggestions to make, we're open to that as well. Some of you guys mentioned Bree is great. She is really great with working with agents and kind of negotiating if we need to on that. But typically we send the terms, you guys write it up, and we roll from there.
Okay, Monica has a question. She wants to know, Monica, it looks like if somebody is currently in a mortgage, can they now be a Landis tenant?
Yes, they can. So of course, we just have to consider their mortgage in their DTI calculation, so it could impact the budget that they're approved for. And then the only thing is the Landis home would need to be their new primary home. So if they're planning on keeping their old home, they're gonna have to move out of that one and move into the Landis home.
Mm-hmm. And then she asked, do you have specific language that must be in your offer?
I'm sure there is. Again, Bree or your client transaction manager is going to be the person that, works with all the specific language and stuff. Bree knows contracts much better than I do. So that would probably be a question for Bree, once you do get an approved client, she would walk you through all that.
We could ask Dawn and Tiana as well. Did you guys get an additional addendum that you had to include in your offer?
There wasn't
any standard offer.
There wasn't any additional addendum, but in the contract terms that were provided, any specific language or anything is provided from the rep. So it was pretty much just like working with any other buyer. We provided local professional insight in terms of the price of the home. So it did a CMA and discussed what would be a good offer. And then from there, they, identified the terms of settlement, the financing, they provided all that. I will say for me, working with the Maryland contract, on our first offer, there was a little bit of a glitch because on the cash offer, it asked for when will the appraisal be ordered. And typically when you're working with a client, you do that, you would do the appraisal after the home inspection process, but you would still want to basically shorten that time period. And one of the things that I found when we did our second offer is that it would be ordered within 3 days. So again, just making sure that you ask those questions versus just going off of what you typically do. Just making sure what is it that you can do when you're making the offer with Landis as your buyer.
Good insight. Thank you, Dawn. And I think I see iPhone 3. And Katrina called your name, and I apologize. I didn't write it down.
Is that Miss Marion? Is that
Yes, Marion, did you have
Yes.
another question, or were you just still off mute?
Well, I was off mute, but I do have a question.
Okay.
Yeah, so when it comes to advertising, do we have to wait to become certified before we use your material?
No. Nope, you can start, as soon as you'd like. And, you can use any advertising. We have our pre-made stuff, but you can get creative if you want, make your own flyers or advertisements. You can do any type of advertising you like.
Right. Start today. And then because that's going to force you to go into that university this weekend.
Right.
Advertise today. Get that first phone call, because nothing like you're back up against that wall, right?
I know. Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else? We are right at 9 o'clock, but if Anna can stay, I think Paula has a question.
Just one quick, I wonder if I can do this through Redfin.
Well, ask Bob Kimball, but it's a sale. It's not a rental, so that you know. It's a standard sale, but with a cash buyer. So what they do behind the scenes is really none of your business. You're just representing another seller with cash. just so that
Okay.
everybody understands. All the program is really kind of none of your business, even though it is. If you say I had cash and I came here with $500,000 cash and I asked you to represent me in buying a home and I was going to be a landlord with it, that was none of your business, except you probably should know that, you know, I need to get a lead cert and all that kind of good stuff. But outside of that, it's a sale. You go to closing and you pick up a closing commission. It is not a rental commission. You're not paid 1 month's rent as the commission. You are paid for a sale.
So
Transaction.
Landis is my buyer, just like, so I'll
Right.
just like a regular buyer.
Right, but with your business model, you are assigned clients, but can you bring in a client yourself?
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So you're just bringing in a cash buyer client.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So I would run with it, but I would ask Bob Kimball just to be 100% sure. But I would run with it. It's a cash deal, cash sale, and they should be happy about it.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Yeah, all right. I'm gonna look at the chat real quick. If anybody comes off of mute, I'll see you if you have another question.
Everybody have a great day. I have to jump off. This has been so good. Nakia, thanks for getting that to me this morning. Shout out to Charlotte, North Carolina for jumping on this morning. Y'all better work. Have a great weekend, ladies. And it was
Bye.
great to be on with so many other realtors from different areas. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And
Thanks, Anna.
we look forward to you being on these Friday calls, ma'am.
Yes, me too. Look, I'm getting ready to switch my whole Fridays around. I'm taking Fridays off to be on here.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good weekend, everybody. Go look. Let's get that certification going by Monday. Challenge.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Let's see. Anybody else? This has been a great call. I'm excited. If and when, not if, when you close or get under contract with Landis, my cell phone number is on the screen. Text me, please, and let me know, because I want to know, and I want to get back with Anna and say, hey, Friday, December the 2nd, you came, we executed, and this is what we have going on. Every time it'd be emailing her, telling her what we're doing. Somebody said they were introduced to Landis, but now they appreciate it just a little bit more with this call. You are so welcome. We appreciate your time today. On Fridays, we coach to grow your business, to grow your income, to help you understand things that, again, that you may have been introduced, but it wasn't broken down in layman's terms, in regular terms, in terms where you feel comfortable with asking questions or learning more. We are here. We do this every Friday. There is a Facebook group that you probably need to join. I will put it in the chat, so don't hang up yet, where we invite you to these Friday calls. And fortunate enough, these calls are open to every single agent in wherever they are. So invite a friend, bring a friend. We encourage you to help other real estate agents. We encourage you to learn and grow with us every single Friday. We do have a bonus session on Monday at 10 o'clock. If you get into that Facebook group, you will see the invitation to that. It's business planning for 2023. You're getting your business together. We'll plan more of these Friday meetings. We'll get your input as to what you want to see, what you want to hear, who you want to hear from, who we need to bring on these calls. So please jump in. Someone's asking for the recording. Yes, I will have your contact information and I will follow up with an email with the link. It'll be a private YouTube video, but you will have the link. And if you have a business partner, accountability partner, a mentee, a mentor, you can share that link with that person as well. So I will get that done as soon as we're finished. I have Anna's permission. And we can share this information with somebody that also needs to grow their business and just grow more and open up their business to more potential clients and non-clients in this case.
Yeah. And if anybody else needs another training for like a different team or different group or brokerage or whatever, let us know. I mean, all states, we work and we're covered. Well, we're happy to do that. So
and
I'm glad everyone found it so helpful.
We bring you back every so often. I know we had a different Landis person last time, but Anna, you're welcome. Let's get you scheduled for like February. There's going to be more agents. We'll do every other month or something like that. I enjoyed you. I learned a few more things as well. So thank you from me as well with understanding this program. And thanks to our audience. They had great questions. You know, we really picked up on a lot of things during this call. So thank you. But let's get you scheduled for February, you know, offline and get that date out. And hopefully we can double, triple. I think we had about 26 people on the call. So we can double or triple this call now that you've been in front of some of these agents. Let's get them back on a Friday morning. All right.
Absolutely. I'm awake by now.
Okay,
Now it's 9 o'clock.
oh,
I'm
we will
up.
wake you up. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We are morning people. We are going to wake you up, or you will look forward to coming here. Once I start sending you those closings, yeah. For those under contracts, you're going to be like, oh, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. You guys have a great day. I'll see
All
you
right,
later.
everybody. Thank you. Have a great
Bye-bye.
weekend. Landis, you on your to-do list.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh man, I got another question. Oh
Yes,
shoot,
yes,
she
yes.
gone.
Go ahead, Monica. I might can answer. What is it?
Okay, so for my listing, I'm obviously representing the seller, so I can put that